Imagine somebody they call poorer than death, the poverty and shame. Oh, what an insult. Have you ever been insulted before? What did you get out of it? If you never got rich from being insulted, then that is an insult. While you're crying of being insulted, others are getting rich. And if you don't find out how in this video, you keep getting insulted.
It's my acechina. I'm an expert global business solutions expert and your real estate success strategist known as the mayor of housing.
Welcome to my daily insights into my daily quotes with my ace, where I give you a longer, deeper insight into my daily quotes for deeper secrets for your accelerated result. And today's quote says, a fool takes an insult as an insult. A wise person takes it as a challenge. Oh, what an insult. When you are insulted and you sulk and you cry and complain and don't get any money from it, then the insult is not the insult, or your reaction is the insult. And what an insult it is that you don't know how to turn insult to money. I'm going to give us 6 greatest insults in the world and 6 greatest examples of people that have turned it to money, and you can just copy and paste what they did and turn insult to money. When people insult me, I don't get insulted. I get excited because I've learned how to turn insult to money. And the first insult that most people take personally in the world that has become an issue world over is racial insult. Racism is so strong in the world today that racial slurs offend and almost traumatize most people. But there's a certain Martin Luther King Jr. that did not allow racial slurs and racial insult to stop him. Rather, they became the fuel with which he created an America of equal rights and justice. And there's a man in South Africa called Nelson Mandela. He never allowed the insult of appetite and the killing of his brothers and 27 years imprisonment to stop him. He turned it not only to money, but he turned it to the presidential ticket to become the first black president in South Africa. So when they insult you racially, show them racial greatness, show them racial money, show them racial success, and succeed more than every race that insults you, and your money and your success will insult them. The second is looks insult. When people insult you that you look ugly, you look awkward, you look tiny, you look fat, a lot of people are so ashamed of body shaming that they don't know they can turn body shaming to body faming if they can turn their shame to fame by making money out of it. And one of the greatest examples in the early 80s, where black women were discriminated against in TV, and she was told she doesn't have the face for television by a television producer, but she not only turned it into a motivation to start her own show that became one of the greatest shows in the world, the Oprah Winfrey Show. But Oprah Winfrey, with the insult of how ugly she looks to be on TV, not only created the best show, but went ahead to own her own TV network. The third is ability insult. When people tell you cannot, instead of crying and sulking, show them you can, because there is something you can do that no other person in the world can do. One of the people that turned this in a legendary way was Michael Jordan, that was told by his high school basketball coach that he was not good enough for the high school basketball. Instead of going home to cry, he went home and practiced 500 shots every morning before going to school. That he not only beat the high school basketball team, but went on to NBA to become the greatest player of all time in NBA. And the first trophy he won in NBA, he sarcastically dedicated it to his high school coach. And number 4 insult is love insult. One of the greatest insults that people give is love insult. When you are looking for a wonderful person to marry, and you refuse to love people less than your class, people will insult you and tell you, let's see whether you're going to marry an angel. I got a lot of that love insult because I refused to have a relationship in the university, and people laughed at me and say, let's see who you marry. Ladies and gentlemen, I not only married the woman of my dreams, but I created her from the pages of book I wrote about her. And today, people see my wife and go, wow. The 5th insult that most people take so personally that the world is sentimental about is poverty insults. And one of the greatest people that turned poverty insult around is a Filipino boxer called Manny Pacquiao. As a kid in the Philippines, Manny's family was so poor that his younger brother was bullied and mocked for being poorer than death. Imagine somebody they call poorer than death. The poverty and shame pushed Manny into boxing, and with each fist he threw, it was the anger of how he was insulted to be poorer than death that pushed him not just to earn dollars but to survive. And he turned that insult into fuel and rose from a street level boxing and poverty to the 8th division world champion, multimillionaire, a senator, a global icon, and he's using his wealth to help the poor people he once belonged to in Philippines. And he turned the poverty insult to championship and money and fame. And last but not the least is the greatest insult is when somebody senior tells you you have no future and you won't amount to anything. Insult that is given by teachers or people above. And two classical examples that will always be classical for the ages is Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison. Albert Einstein was told by one of his teachers that he will never amount to anything, basically stamping him as a kid with no future. But he took that invisible label and quietly shattered it by going on to revolutionize physics with the theory of relativity and winning a Nobel Prize and becoming one of the most celebrated geniuses in human history, and shut up that his teacher for the rest of the teacher's life. And Thomas Edison's teacher wrote a note to Thomas Edison's mother because Thomas Edison could not read. And it read, "Your child is incapable of learning and has learning disability and should no longer come to school." Thomas Edison's mother read it, and Thomas asked him, "What is it, Mom?" He said, "Your teacher said you are too intelligent and too much of a genius that he can no longer teach you. I should teach you from home." And she homeschooled Thomas Edison and made him believe what a genius he is so much that he went on to be the greatest genius that has ever turned failure to success and turned failure into a fuel, and the greatest legend of failure to success that ever lived. And he never knew that note until after his mom passed away, and I was packing out the things of his mom, and he saw that note and saw that it actually read, "Your child has a stunned learning ability and has incapacity to learn and should stop coming to school." But before then, he had already become the Wizard of Menlo Park. So which of these insults have you been wasting and not turning to money that is really an insult? Is it racial insult? And have you not seen people of your race that have gone up to be world class? Is it looks insult? Have you not seen people that are less good looking than you that have gone out to be billionaires? Is it ability insult? Have you not seen people that started with less ability than you that went on to build world-class still? Is it love insult? Stun them by getting the most loving, the most beautiful, and the most wonderful person. Is it poverty insult? Stun the world by becoming so rich that you come back to help those people that once told you you are poorer than death? Or is it you have no future insult, or you will never amount to anything insult that led Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison to become the greatest? And remember, our quote for the day says, "A fool takes an insult as an insult. A wise person takes it as a challenge." So tell me in the comments below, which of these insults have you been taking as an insult and not turning to money? For me, the one that used to get me so riled up when I was starting was racial insult. And one of the greatest racial insults that turned me on so much that made me to start reading this is the insult by a white man that says, "If you want to hide anything from a black man, put it in the pages of a book." That insult made me to start reading voraciously, and these books made me a billionaire and still making me more money today. And I say I'll read more than any other person in the world, and you can never hide anything from me as a black man in the pages of a book. So I'd like to read in the comments which of these insults is stopping you that you are still finding as an insult that with this video you start doing something about. And whatever you do, the greatest attraction of insult is when you don't respect yourself. If you want everybody to respect you every time, then watch this video above and I'll see you on the other side.
Hey, Lele Pinky, it's super duper amazing that you found my content valuable enough for you to watch till the end. Only 5% of exceptional people do that. You're exceptional and I deeply love and appreciate you. Hey, Lele Pinky! Don't just watch to learn, watch to take action. And the first action is subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of our daily value action. Remember, only doers are winners.